Subbu, Netflix's first show in Telugu, all about sex. We're going to talk all about sex today. Did you guys ever have this, what the Americans call the birds and bees talk with your parents?
If I tried to have it, I might have gotten wagged extra. I
have
come from a Telugu home, growing up in Chennai. Even if I tried having this conversation, I would have probably been belted extra 2 times.
My sister did. My sister taught me what I needed to know.
It's all friends telling you the wrong stuff.
Boys have internet centers and friends for knowledge. So that is a topic which we don't want to associate our family with. We want to keep it too individualistic maybe. Somehow we've grown up believing that there are two completely different entities of our life which should not collaborate. Sex and discussion with family or teachers. Like anybody who you see with the intent of respect to, you somehow don't crack this topic with. If they crack it with you, then sure, you might indulge maybe 10% of the conversation.
On the one hand, there is this internet where pretty much anything is available, but on screens and on YouTube and all that, there are laws that need to be followed. What is your take on censorship?
I know, like we are discussing that we are so uncomfortable still talking about sex in families or something. So there's some content where you're not very comfortable when you're sitting with family. I don't know if it's too archaic what I'm talking.
Sometimes watching a specific kind of content a little too often normalizes a lot of things for you. And you need to believe and understand that it's normal in a lot of other places. Like it's alcohol, sir. Everybody drinks alcohol, the government permits alcohol, but you can't promote it calling it alcohol. So that is censorship.
Particularly about Subbu, I really enjoyed the script.
No virgin, Kulu kulu ne kaathu veesudhu.
Ungal Satyavil Kulu Kulu AC offer.
Ungal Satya.
Book your next holiday at Grand Royal Tours.
Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai and Sri Perumbudur.
Hello everyone, and including Director Mallik. You're like Subbu, Netflix's first show in Telugu, all about sex. We're going to talk all about sex today. Like, that's the only thing we're going to talk about.
We don't speak about sex much in the show, sir.
No, but it's okay.
We can
go
all about it.
This is about sex education and all that, so we can talk about that. But congratulations on the show. And, what I said, I just wanted to begin by asking all of you, since the show is about sex education and you're a sex educator, and did you guys ever have this, what the Americans call the birds and bees talk with your parents? Like where they sat down and explained to you, this is what it is, that is what it is.
If I tried to have it, I might have gotten wagged extra. I come from a Telugu home, growing up in Chennai. Even if I tried having this conversation, I would have probably been belted extra 2 times. So
Never. Mithila?
No.
Not with my parents, but my sister did. My sister taught me what I needed to know.
No, okay.
No.
You, nothing.
Nothing with my parents. It's all friends telling you the wrong stuff.
It's telling you all the wrong things, and you learn all
Boys have internet centers and friends for knowledge. So we different.
Well, at least you had internet centers. There's a generation before that, when everything was.
Even that was,
So so I think you can identify that. So that's like, it was all whisper and all that kind of stuff. So we had a biology teacher who kind of started talking about this, and then I think after like 10 minutes discovered everyone was giggling in class, and then they said, okay, you can read this chapter yourself. So it's
exact same thing happened in my class. That's how I remember all of this.
Okay.
Like it started there for me. That classroom was basically the inception for the class, the particular class. Was inception for this idea. Then when I was trying to visit, what do I work on next? Then I thought about that particular moment, and I started writing, how about sex education? And I started building all this.
So that really was, you had a biology teacher like that as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what kind of biology is this? It's just like, this is very, I think they were more embarrassed than
it's like you guys read it off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it for you guys. You know English, no, read it off.
Yeah. So that was what it was. So, you said, that you wanted to use humor to talk about a subject that is kind of taboo, but why do you think it's so difficult? I mean, it's for all of you, right? It's like, why do you think it's so difficult to talk about sex? Anyone, like?
So I think somewhere that is a topic which we don't want to associate our family with. We want to keep it too individualistic maybe. I think it's the most honest answer there is that somehow we've grown up believing that there are two completely different entities of our life which should not collaborate.
Which is?
Sex and discussion with family or teachers. Like anybody who you see with the intent of respect to, you somehow don't crack this topic with.
Yeah.
If they crack it with you, then sure, you might indulge maybe 10% of the conversation.
Or maybe
but
just give half a smile.
Yeah, like see for example,
Half
somebody.
a smile.
Half a smile, not really take the conversation ahead.
Yeah,
It's
see, for
fine.
example,
it's okay, I guess.
Sir, for example, Murali Sharma sir is somebody who I take blessings from by following on his feet. He and I, even though we've shot for a show, we've never discussed sex in our life. Right?
Yeah.
So, there is this friend of mine whose father is a very famous actor, and I've worked with him a bunch of times. He's never had a basic conversation of relationship or sex education with his dad, but me and sir have spoken multiple times. Uncle and I chat. So I think it is not it's about where you crack that space of vulnerability.
Right.
I think somewhere sex comes with a lot of vulnerability in our nation,
Right.
and we kind of choose our space of vulnerability.
Mithila?
I would think so. Like I think I personally have been very fortunate to have a circle of friends with whom I can still, and friends meaning in all age groups. I am friends with people who are 50 also, and I'm friends with people who are 20 also. But I have been through my plays, the friendship that I have made and stuff like that, through workspaces. I don't think once I entered those spaces is where all those walls kind of shattered and everybody was willing to be vulnerable. I think theatre generally makes you vulnerable as a space.
Yeah.
So then when you spend a lot of time together with those people, I think a lot of my theatre community and I kind of like, we grew closer. And I think especially in that, as I was growing up in that community, behind the scenes or if I was on stage doing a play, those friendships have really stayed, and that's where it kind of started opening up. Those conversations started happening over there. So like he said, yeah, I guess we are very shy of being vulnerable or very conscious of being vulnerable because I think we feel very exposed.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but you know, but and it's not, it's something that makes us very uncomfortable, and in those spaces I felt like, oh, it's actually not an uncomfortable conversation, and I was not even a part of those, women are talking to other women, but it's a very like, you know, matter of fact conversation. It's not like, oh my god, you know what happened, kind of. So that changed that perspective for me.
Yeah, and for me also, like for you, theatre was, I had a brief stint as a copywriter in an advertising agency. And earlier it was all like, you know, boys talk to each other a certain way, but when you spoke to girls, you spoke a slightly different way because, you know, you like, you know. But the ad agency was when everybody spoke everything, and suddenly it was like you know, the atmosphere, it was a very Western kind of atmosphere where we didn't call each other by sir, everyone was calling each other by their first name, regardless how old you were or what didn't matter at all, and you know, like the CEO of the company was called by his name, and you know, so it was a very cool atmosphere, and I think that's where I, like, you know, the whole, became freer to talk about stuff. And
in fact, I have grown up with these bunch of my closest girlfriends in school, and these are the kind of conversations we started having probably in our late 20s, and it's only when I was like, why do we not do this? Because this is a group that is like, we've seen each other through everything. Now we are like, we've grown up together literally. So my childhood friends and I took time to get there, but when like I was exposed to this part of the world, I was like, oh, so it is okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to have these conversations.
And also okay to have fun with it, like have A-rated jokes or whatever it is, right? When you, in your incredible career, you know, which started, I'm not talking about theatre those days, but film-wise, 2002, Dil Vil, Pyar Vyar, Sex Vex, that film, right? Okay, sorry, Dil Vil, Pyar Vyar. I'm just like, but at that time, what was like, you know, how was this subject handled on, like, cinematically, like, because that was not an OTT time, or there was no kind of thing. Cinematically, what was the
I wouldn't know, because not that I have been part of films where anything like this was there, so I wouldn't know.
Right. I would think that it was mostly just the romance bit and maybe like a hug or a kiss or something, and not much more, because it was like a...
Yeah, maybe, but I think way back I was a small part of a film called Raz, I think. There was little some scenes, they call it, little steamy hot scenes. I think people liked it, so I don't know what the thought was behind it. Or
but I think that was also marketed as a an erotic thriller or something like that. If I'm
That
not
was the
mistaken.
time when the statement "sex and Shah Rukh Sell" became very famous.
Yeah. I know that was the time, right? It was like a thing.
That was the most famous statement out there.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
Only I think the statement was only two things sell: sex and Shah Rukh Khan, something like that.
Don't remember who said who. Neha Dhupia said.
Neha Dhupia.
Neha Dhupia said that.
She's
yeah.
too good looking not to remember, sir. All of us also.
What was the toughest part of cracking this for you? Because your topic is this, sex education by this guy, and two is you're also on TV. You don't want to be a very, very, open about certain things. How did you strike that balance?
The balance for me, probably it's natural for me to get that balance, because I think in a little progressive way when it comes to these topics.
Okay.
Because I had a very strong foundation of powerful women around me. It's not like we had conversations about sex or anything to do with periods or anything, because I had an elder sister whom I look up to. So I always understood their side also and my side also. For me, it's the whole thinking towards this idea of sex education, which involves the opposites. For me, it was very simple or basic for me in my head. It wasn't complicated for me, where it's not a taboo for me. Firstly, I don't think it's a taboo for me, firstly, when I'm writing itself. So for me, how do I present it according to how I understand sex education? I don't want it to be preachy, firstly. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be fun. I wanted everybody could see it, because my moral compass tells me, if my mom could see it, that's good writing. So she always respected what I did until now. So whenever yesterday when the trailer came out, I asked her how she felt.
It's a great trailer, by the way. It was very, very. It really gives an idea of the tone and the pace of the series and the performances, the pitch, everything. It was I really enjoyed the trailer. Yeah.
So that's basically 4 hours of fun talking briefly about sex education, but impactfully, yes. It's just not that, but also these beautiful characters, flawed characters, figuring their way through life, of an innocent boy, Subbu, who goes to a village and finds himself.
You picked Sundeep for the role of an innocent boy.
I was very confused myself, sir.
Yeah,
First of the narration, I was like, why me? And then after, we had to find various ways of how to discover and play him quirky on set.
Nice.
Otherwise, I was like, okay, if I played, how do we do this?
Yeah.
I had the same question. I was like, why me? And then I was
But it's always the opposites that I enjoy. Someone making the comedians play the villain, or the villains play the comedian. It's always fun. It's been done. It's not like I'm the first guy. A lot of people have done it, and I love that always when the contrast happens on the screen. So even Mithila playing a Telangana village girl speaking that dialect is fun and challenging also.
Yeah.
So I know it can happen. If it doesn't happen somewhere in the gut, it won't happen.
Yeah.
So when I know that the girl is super talented and she can do it, throw her something where she wants to figure something out, and she'll come up with a beautiful performance. So I know those things. Somehow I understand those range of actors when I see them. So in that way, I pick these actors, and I know Sundeep. I know how we because when I saw his first film, Venkatadri Express, I knew that everybody liked him for his innocence. So okay, fine. That is one thing we should remember. So in a very long career of 30 films, she's done a lot of genres, and people go back to Venkatadri saying that, sir, we really love you for that. And obviously Prasthan they talk about, but I connected more with him playing in that role. So I was like, let's bring back the old Sundeep and see how people are going to like him again. So in that way, for me in my head, I always wanted to see Sundeep playing Subbu. So in that way, it worked out.
So Mithila, I saw you in a Tamil film last year, I think, with Vishnu Mishra's brother, and this is Telugu. When you go into languages that are not necessarily your own, how do you? What is the because some actors tell me they do it syllable by syllable. Some actors tell me everyone has a method. What's your method?
I understand music and I understand rhythm. So I remember my dialogues in a meter. So I always would tell my directors, even when I did my Tamil film or my first Telugu film, and I told Mallik that don't remove a word or don't add a word. Whatever is set in that meter is set in my head now. And I know how to, one good thing that came out of my schooling is that I learned how to parrot. So I would just learn and I could parrot out everything, my answers in my answer papers.
We used to call it mugging up.
Mugging up,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
I learned that very well. So it's now coming in handy. And
But
that's.
I don't think she parrots anything for me, because being in front of the monitor, when I see where she takes those pauses or where she smiles, she twitches, all that is on point. I want exactly that way. That's some directors tell like this is exactly the point. I want you to take a pause. So for me, I want to let the actors do what they want to do. But when I saw it, she was taking the pauses in the right moment in her own beautiful way.
Yeah.
She was doing all of that, and I felt like great. I mean, she's not even. She's not parroting anything.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like performing there.
Yeah.
So this parrot part is false.
No, so I learn my lines like that. I write it in Devanagari. It's the script that I know, and then so that I can say the word phonetically, and then of course I try to understand what I am saying. I'll always ask him. I would ask Uppi, who's our first AD. I would ask him, what am I saying? I had a language coach who helped me with understanding what I was saying. I got a translated script. So there was a lot of aid there. But essentially what helps is writing it in Devanagari and then remembering it in a meter.
Yeah.
So even if you come to me and say, I have removed 2 lines, I will not be happy about that, because now you've like confused me.
And you don't want to be one of those actors that's saying something while the dialogue track is saying something else.
But that way I could. No, he added 65 more. But I have many stories about those. No. But that way then I can't emote, because then that's too many things to remember. At least I know the word and I know what it means, so I can at least emote.
Yeah. Tell me
Never
one.
seen a day before. Like she did it up. She had to give it like a proper single take, and she did it up.
Nice.
All this she tells no, but she'll do it up.
Well, I want to ask you about something that was in an interview with you and Abhay when you guys were promoting Chopsticks, right? So Abhay was talking about how, like people can censor stuff on YouTube or anywhere else, but how can you censor the internet? Right, because it's all over. So why are we even talking about censorship, and what is this thing that on the one hand there is this internet where pretty much anything is available, but on screens and on YouTube and all that, on OTT there are laws that need to be followed. What is your take on censorship?
I think there should be some.
You think so?
I think
okay.
so. Yeah. I think so. There should be some kind of censorship.
Okay. So that's a yes or no answer. I want you to explain.
Yes. Yeah. There should be some kind of censorship.
Okay. Why?
I know, like we are discussing that we are so uncomfortable still talking about sex in families or something. So there's some content where you're not very comfortable when you're sitting with families. I don't know if it's too archaic what I'm talking, but I think some amount of censorship is good.
I think what sir is trying to get to is to say, sometimes watching a specific kind of content a little too often normalizes a lot of things for you. The things which you probably thought were normal, and
right.
you need to believe and understand that it's normal in a lot of other places. It changed. I think where he's getting from is like it's alcohol, sir. Everybody drinks alcohol. The government permits alcohol, but you can't promote it calling it alcohol.
Yeah.
So that is censorship, sir. So I think in that line.
Yeah. Are you trying to say there should be censorship?
There should be some level of censorship, yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, there should be 2 ways where probably in a screen, you're going to a big screen to watch a film, which is going to be censored, and probably there is a different medium which gives you an opportunity to waste the same content without being censored.
Right.
Now, that is your R-rated or whatever rated versions which come online.
Yeah.
So I think that specificity we have to give. So we should give people the option of watching it with the level of...
So my question is, when, let's take Obsession, right, the current blockbuster, and they're removing this one, there's one scene with violence that's been edited out, and there's one scene with sex that's been edited out, and everyone has taken that scene from wherever else and put it on X or any of the social media handles, so people are watching it anyway, even though it's kind of a thing. So I'm saying that I think it's unavoidable now, like this is kind of a thing. So how do you look at that?
I'm saying, but eventually you did see it on X. The film did do well in theatres also.
Yeah.
Both the purposes are served.
Okay.
You got to see what you missed, and the film has anyways done well without that.
You should be a politician, actually.
Why, sir?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I never want to be, sir.
Really?
It's a very tough job, sir.
So,
but I feel like we are pressurizing content too much, sir. It's okay. If it's there, it's great. If it's not there, it's fine. Sometimes I understand where filmmakers come out and get very upset about it because they feel like their voice has been chopped off, which is rebelling from what is right and wrong. But it's not about what is needed or not.
Yeah.
It's not about the necessity, sir. It is about, it's not ideal. It's my medium, how can you mess with it? It's a personal anger. Now, is it a necessity? Not is subjective, sir. Like sometime back in an interview, I was saying, acting is like modern art. There's no rule book on how you perform. How can you say this is the right way to perform or this is not? I might find a performance phenomenal. You might not like it. You might think a performance is phenomenal. I might be like, what did they do?
Yeah.
It's like modern art. It's perspective. If you have more people or the more credible people voicing out that it's great, you sell for a higher price.
Yeah.
If the credible people are not ready to voice you out, you're just individually your own talent again.
So I think it's also individualistic.
So censorship is modern art, sir.
More the merrier. Some people might think
like censorship is modern art, sir. Like for example, there was also this conversation where a lot of people spoke of why should the national anthem be played before a film. I don't care. I'm happy to stand for extra 2 minutes.
No.
I don't know what purpose it's going to serve, but if those 2 minutes, I have nothing to lose to stand up for my national anthem, sir.
Yeah.
Right? After school, probably I heard it that regularly only in a theatre. So I was happy to hear it beyond. So I could be wrong, but that's my perspective.
Yeah. But what are the things that you talk about as a sex educationist in this? What are the issues that you discuss?
So this is a reference I've been giving to a lot of people. If sex is learning to drive the car, sex education is the rule books of the road rules, the dignity and respect you have to give to the other drivers.
Yeah.
That is sex education, sir. So I think we mostly speak about that. And more importantly, we speak about a lot of important
Because one of the things that's there in the promotional material is the no means no bit that's there. Yeah.
There are multiple tinier things which we speak of in the show. So when I started doing the show, I didn't think that the things we were saying in the show were necessary, as in the sense that it's very important to be said no. But it was a great part of a narrative and a story. But when we were filming for the show in this village, which is like 2 hours away from Hyderabad, I kind of realized that a lot of things we were speaking about in the show were a reality in that village.
Yeah.
We come from an urbanized setup where we've been privileged and fortunate enough to go to the good schools. We went to schools where we had the option of at least the girls being taken separately, right? There are a lot of people who don't even get to go to schools, and this is not even...
And girls become the other, like the unattainable other kind of thing. And that's those who've been to boys' schools, I've seen this a lot. Yeah.
So it kind of... so when we realized that we were shooting in 2025 in a village which is 2 hours from Hyderabad, which is the capital city, and extremely urban, and I realized they're still living a life which is very patriarchal in the sense. I think a lot of things about sex education taught in India are not just about sex, it's also about patriarchy, right? Like no means no is fight against patriarchy. You deserve to wear a healthy pad instead of a cloth which you use at home is a fight against patriarchy to say that your hygiene is important in your monthly budget, not just the rest of it, right? So I think it is a lot of those things that have been conveyed. Like there's this line in this show which I really like, but it's in Telugu, so I'm going to try and translate for you in the best possible way. The part of this universe which is credited for being the place which has the power to birth a human life is not a place you should be ashamed of trying to protect for hygiene.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of these things were said in a very beautiful, sensitive fashion, which is what I like. Like there is not a single abusive term in the show. There's not a single, like sometime back sir said he worked on a film called Raz, which I also saw and liked back in college, which was known for being a sensual. We don't have any sensual scenes in the show. So this is not something which deals with that. Like for example, I would ideally like to compare the narrative of Super Subbu to be something on the lines of what a wiki donor or a badai ho were.
Yeah.
Right? When I watched this content, I was like, wow, on paper I could have never gauged this line to work out as such a great screenplay narrative.
Yeah, that's a great example, wiki donor.
Yeah, and this show, when I heard the narrative, I kind of felt like it had great potential to be that. Like wiki donor is also one, sir. Now imagine badai ho, that is a truly sensitive Indian topic where your parents have gotten pregnant with a child, where you're trying to convince a family that you should get married to that girl. This is like literally the kind of sensitivity. But that was one of the most successful films which was remade in all states.
Yeah.
Which means people are ready to receive and watch content like that, but very few people are ready to bet on it.
I think the key is to add humor. I think had Badhai Ho
Not been funny
a
enough.
serious film, I don't know if it would have done that well. I think the key is to, when you're doing these things, to add humor so that it becomes part of the, like it's a show that, like, humor gives that nice distance cushioning, which kind of gets you laugh. For example, I don't know if you remember, but when the gay angle in Kal Ho Na Ho happened, that was kind of caused a lot of, and it's credited with doing a lot of things. I don't know what it actually did, but but the point is, it was treated with humor. And then when Karan came on a show, he said that made it, that people were laughing about it and talking about it, so that made it easier to kind of accept that. Had the same thing been shown as a proper relationship, maybe it would have been awkward. I don't know. It's just like,
So,
because
I also think somewhere it comes from making a joke of it and making a joke of the situation, sir.
Yeah.
Here the situation is, if you've seen the trailer, we kind of divert towards showing how Subbu is a character who's still a virgin, but has to teach sex education to a village of people who you can't even think about speaking this to. So the situation is so funny in general, beyond trying to make a joke out of the sexual part of it. It is the situation that is funny. So the situation got highly elevated in terms of humor because of who's in that situation. Beyond it just being that. So
you went in, like, in 2026, because you're saying you're still family, because you made a very specific point about saying male and female, but you didn't want to get into LGBT issues and all that in the show.
There are a few topics that we've covered in this particular season. The things which I felt to start off with, there are these topics, the important, which people ignore mostly, and these are topics I've covered in this. LGBTQ is not part of this season, but certainly we are trying to explore other angles of sex, whatever topics we haven't covered much later in this we haven't covered anything with LGBTQ.
Right. So when you get these offers in the digital space, which range from everything, Little Hearts and everything, right? What makes you say yes to a role? It's like, is it like, because one of the things that I remember about him is that one of the most famous things that he said was, I don't care if it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes. I don't care about footage. I just want it to be a memorable small part. Is that something that you follow as well?
Yeah, similarly, I think the significance of the character is important. The length of the character is not important. Particularly about Super Subbu, I really enjoyed the script. It came to me in English, so I read the episodes in English. So I was actually finding it really funny also. I loved that such a sensitive topic was handled in such a light way, but things were said assertively by not trivializing them, but like lightly so that you're not like sounding preachy or anything. And the fact that it's a character that was too exciting to say no to. She rides a moped. She also she's an aspiring actress who knows that she will do this. She will achieve it. Like, there is no question about it. There's no debate if I will be able to do this or not. She knows she'll do it, and she'll find any way to do it. So I love that she's so spunky, she's so feisty, she's so unapologetic. And so there was no way I could have said no to this. But yes, principally, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute role or a 55-minute role, as long as it's making sense.
It makes
sense to the plot.
Yeah,
to the story.
And there's something about you that people will take away and remember, kind of thing. So, what about you? Your next theatrical release is Jason Sanjay's Sigma. So that sounds like a big alpha movie, and you're doing that. How has that come out?
It's come out very well, so we're very excited about it. We also kind of realized that Sigma is just not a film; it's also a cultural experience, kind of, where it is Sanjay's debut, and he's taken a completely alternative route of wanting to be a director. So we do come with that responsibility.
What is alternative route?
As in, sir, he could have had the best debut in the world, in the country, sir.
Oh, like, okay,
it would have been the highest grossing debutant in history for. It has all the potential to be that. He could have taken the easiest route out, and he chose to surprise people by saying, I want to be a director. And we're also knowing and aware of the fact that that is a film which everybody wants to watch. So it has to be a film which everybody understands. and it's a happy film, happy action film as well. We're very excited about it. And it's a complete jump from Super Subbu as... If you remember last year when we had an interview, sir, when you were asking me, what is your plan? That was already signed and it was all ready, but I couldn't speak about it then. So, sir, my intent somewhere is I've always liked playing popular characters.
Right.
That character is the most enjoyable part of, that character is the most enjoyable part of a film. But I think over the last 5, 6, 7 years, I have also been very particular about the screen time and the significance.
Yeah.
Because it, in an earlier interview we were speaking where it came into conversation how there are a lot of actors today always wait for somebody to look at them in different light and give an opportunity. Where I think out of my 30 odd projects, 95% of them have been projects curated by me.
Yeah.
Like I listen to a story, I like the director, I travel with them for 4-5 months. Then we find a producer to back it. Then we do whatever is required to convince them into believing in it. And you've seen a lot of that happen.
Yeah.
I have never been an actor who a ready-made project has come to me. Very, very rarely. Maybe a Ryan is a ready-made project. Sigma is a ready-made. Even for Sigma, we traveled around after meeting the director to see who's going to be the right person for it. Super Subbu is very rare, sir.
Yeah.
So when a ready-made project comes to me, in fact, I fear it a little. Like, and I have that little fear. I was like, okay, why me? Who else did you go to? Am I your first option? If I'm my first option, why?
Man, that's
or do you
like
see me the same way?
Serious overthinker.
Yes, sir, but it has to, right?
No,
see,
I'm one myself, so
I agree,
recognize.
sir. I'm Taurus too. So for me, the thing is, sir, if I see myself as special, it's important when I say special, I'm not trying to be pompous here, sir. I just feel like I bring something unique to the table and I put my life and soul into it as long as I'm in it. So it's very important for me that the people I work with also believe and see me specifically. I see them the same.
Yeah.
Like I see Murali sir is very special. We worked on 5 projects together. I have always seen Mithila as special. As an actor, she's been very unique. She's got attention in a very unique way.
Yeah.
And today, after watching the entire show, I can vouch for Mallik being very special. Because to be very honest, when the show began, I did have my fears. Because it is a very thin, edgy line to maybe go across. So I think Mallik and the team he chose and the actors he chose, I told him that. After I saw the show, I was like, darling, you've done something pretty insane. It's a show I'll be very proud of.
Nice.
And I wouldn't say that if I wasn't there, sir. I'm somebody who would be like, I'll stay silent. I don't get into that. So, and this project also, interestingly, it was first brought to me by Abhishek.
Yeah.
He was somebody I really look up to in terms of his content choices, in terms of what he's been acquiring or backing. And he's really believed in it. So for me, if anything, I am the most calmest about this show. Let it be for the Netflix team or for Mallik. They're so excited and stressed and I'm like, oh. And that is giving me confidence.
Yeah. And I think one of the nice things about you being in the show is that on the one hand, because down south in all the languages, a lot of OTT people have found it difficult to get leading men to come to the OTT side. Yes. Because I think there is still that bit of hesitation crossing over leading heroines, heroes, whatever, kind of a thing. So like the theatrically, like people who go there. But I think this is a good step and, you're leading by example.
Thank you.
You're being a hero, you're teaching good sex, this is all, that didn't come out the right way, but you think good things about it. But anyway, this is good. And all the best for all of you and the show, and look forward to watching it. It's 6 episodes, right?
7 episodes.
7 episodes, yeah. So all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, very kind of you to say that. It was also important because that was one of my intents also, sir. I kind of realized if this kind of a space started here, and Netflix starting off with its first ever Telugu show. Like actually, even if you see as an original show per se across the South, this is the first curated original show. Right after we started it, I know at least some 10 projects have been curated with a lot of actors of my age group or visibility. And I think it's a very healthy rotation of content out happening there today. I really hope, considering we've had conversations before and we understand each other, I think you'll really like Super Subbu, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, I love the trailer that you guys put out. So all the best for the show.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward.
உங்கள் சத்யாவில் குளு குளு ஏசி ஆஃபர்.
Book your next holiday at Grand Royal Tours.
Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai and Sri Perumbudur.